sir. You can go ahead and begin.
As Americans, we have all seen the dysfunction in today's society, especially in the morality department. There are many who say very good reasons for this, but it really all can break down to the removal of the Bible and essentially God from public schools in 1993. Allowing faith back into this country, and especially schools, could change this country for the better. We'll first look at the argument for letting the religion back in public schools. Next we'll look at the argument against, and then we'll look at stories that support the allowing the Bible back in public schools. Now, allowing the Bible back into public schools. Will Snipes, who is a 7th grade teacher and a leader at a Christian ministry camp, says in Why Public Schools Should Teach the Bible. Many students feel the pressure to be number one in everything they do. In addition to chaos and confusion in the world, everything can be overwhelming. Now, children, while he's saying, he also says further on in his article something along the lines of that children need a foundation. Now, a steady foundation for school, and in school is like where you are most of the time. I mean, you think you spend, 8 hours a day at school? And that's where everything comes into chaos, confusion. That's where a lot of stuff is. And if they don't have a set thing to look up to, like the Bible, they won't know what to turn to. Now, there's a lot of temptation in school, as we know. We've all seen it. We've all lived through it. There's a lot of temptations that we see every day. There's a lot of rough things we go through. Without the Bible and other stuff, some students, not all, but some, tend to try to find their own ways of dealing with it, which can lead to very bad consequences. Unlike popular belief, the Bible in public schools, the Bible is still in public schools, but as a history teaching book. It's not meant for religion, and teachers are strongly forbidden to use it for religious purposes. Now, in this, we'll talk about why Christians, even some Christians, don't believe the Bible should be taught as religion in public schools. As Mark Shea, a Catholic writer, published 10 books, says in Should the Bible Be Taught in Public Schools, I think it is far more sensible as a school to not only to ask someone who not only knows the technicalities and authorship, duty, and context of the Bible, but who actually has meaning with the Bible, and then ask a paid educator about the Bible who has no sentimental value towards it. Now, as we see here, he does make a very good point to this. Would you want a teacher who knows nothing about the Bible, who might even be atheist, trying to teach religion about the Bible? No, it'd be very bad, especially for students who don't have a Christian background. They would understand very wrongly about the Bible and it could turn out very bad for them. Now, this can also be changed if they were to allow the Bible in public schools. As you know, there are missionaries in the world. Now, all missionaries, you don't have to be in a different country to be a missionary. You can be a missionary where you are. Since the LCMS has many missionaries as a tool to use for preaching the Bible in public schools, missionaries can be used as a very good resource for said things. Since they know the Bible, they believe the Bible, and they are very good at teaching the Bible. Now, we're going to look at a story which is it's a movie which is based on a true story, which I looked up. It's true. Okay. And so it's Woodlawn High School. Now, in 1972, Woodlawn High School was in Birmingham, Alabama, was about a football team who had just been, the schools had been combined. There was a different black high school in there, and it combined with the Whitewood High School, Woodlawn. Okay. Now, they recently immigrated to school. So there's a lot of tension, as you know. You've seen videos of this, and that's how it was. It was like one of the last schools in Alabama to be integrated, so people are still pretty hot about that topic. So as the football team's about to start their season, this evangelical man, not ordained, just someone who knows the Bible, believes in it, and is a very good public speaker, comes to the football coach and asks if he could have a moment with the team. Because he goes around asking and preaching in different schools to try to build up the Bible in school, and he knows that there's a lot of tensions going around. Now, as he does, he speaks, the coach gives him 5 minutes to talk. As the coach leaves, because he doesn't believe it, and he just leaves to go to the office, an hour later he comes back and realizes he's still talking. Little does he know, all but 3 members of the team, who are all atheists, converted in that hour to Christianity. So they start their new football season with the team and most assistant coaches just converted Christian. They don't know much, but they're still learning very well. Now, as the beginning, the coach is still kind of against the black players, so he doesn't play them much until their tailback gets hurt. Tony Nathan, a professional football player, is the main character in this story. Now, he is a very avid believer. Well, he wasn't avid, but he just became an avid believer through the evangelical man. And now he's playing, and he's playing very well. And so then they go through the season, they're playing well, and they meet their rival school, who is like they were at the beginning of school. A lot of hate, a lot of all this despicableness towards other people. And so they play the game. It's very racist, very bad, and people get hurt who didn't need to get hurt. And so the season's over. Then the evangelical man goes to the other school and preaches to that school. And then now both the teams eventually convert to Christianity and have summer camp together. Now imagine having summer camp with CHS. Would you want to do that? No, you wouldn't. Okay. And so they have their summer camp together, go through the whole season as a newfound, essentially, city, because this is spreading throughout the city as well. Newfound Christianity, not as much racism. It's all going down. It's very, very inspiring. Okay. And then they go to the biggest high school game ever played, which is against the 2 players. And as they're playing, they recite the Lord's Prayer before the game, which is highly forbidden. And while this is all going on, the coach is being told he might have to be fired from his job because he is practicing Christianity and religion during school. And now all that goes through, and then finally the game gets over. Woodlawn loses because they're terrible. And then then as they go on, everyone moves on to life. But the city is still feeling. For 10 years, the city went through the religious revival where racism was almost practically gone. You could walk hand in hand with everyone. It was very good. Okay. All this comes to the fact that allowing the Bible in public schools can change to a lot. Now, in conclusion, letting the Bible in public schools is is what the country needs, is what the country could use to get back to how it used to be. Very good, very positive, and all that. If we ever need a change in morality, I think now is the time to do it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Kirby.
Oh, yeah.
You might want to stay just for a little bit. Yeah, I think we have maybe a few questions based on your topic of allowing Christianity, or specifically the Bible, back into public schools. All right, whenever you're ready, you can call on some individuals.
What happens if public school teachers get caught using the Bible?
They can be fired, and in some cases, they can lose their teaching license, which is not very good because that's their livelihood. Jackson?
What are some ways that we can, help support this cause that you know of?
Well, you can, especially the LCMS, I know is starting to think about this more as is a more topic, but you can write your congressman, especially because you can write the LCMS all you want, but how is it going to be changed is through the government system. So the congressman's a good person to write, and then that's the same. And support it, LCMS does a very good job, so good thing supporting them too. Vera?
Alright, so teaching Christianity in school is one thing, but what if there are other religions in the school? Let's say, there's some people who believe in the Jewish faith, or there are Muslims. Shouldn't it be fair if we're going to teach Christianity? Why not teach other religions too?
That is a very good question. Yes. Okay. In the idea of this, you would want to have a sort of free time. You know how we have a meeting time? That could be more of like your Bible time or your religious time. You can do all this. You can go to people who know this together and do preaching, like they can have side classes and stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to be Christianity. It's just any religion in general. But as we know, Christianity is kind of the hated religion in this scenario here.
Anyone else?
Molly?
Who would teach the Bible? Like, if the Bible was brought back, who would teach it?
Well, as I stated before, missionaries are a great thing to do. I mean, we have a lot. I mean, there's LBTS, a ton of missionaries just right there. I mean, they can go out through that. It's a very good way to preach the Bible in public schools, I would think.
One more question?
Jessica.
Why do you think there's so much negativity surrounding the Bible in particular?
Well, I guess this is more, I can't really answer that question how, like, informationally, but what I would think would be the fact that I guess people just don't understand it enough, like something like that. That's all I can think about for that.
Okay, we do need to draw this to a close. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much, Chris.